What makes it special to me is I've fished it for a lot of years now, probably coming up here in my teens, and it's such a brilliant, beautiful venue throughout the summer, and it's the dry flies that bring people back up here. It's absolutely fantastic. You get a nice day up here and you can be putting 20, 30, 40 fish in the boats on the dries, and it is absolutely spectacular when it's on its day. Just unfortunately we haven't had one of those days today when it's just been raining all day, which has kept a lot of the terrestrial flies off the water really. We sort of got a good idea where we're going to go, what we're going to fish. So it's just nice to have them all set up so when we get there we can start fishing straight away. On average, the average depth of the Great Lake will probably be about 8 to 10 foot throughout. It's not a very deep lake. There is some deep holes out there, but yeah, probably about 10 foot. And the bottom lake is pretty much the same as well. So the Great Lake's 144 acres and the Little Loch is 12 and a half, 13 acres. But at the moment, this time of year, the Little Loch is fishing extremely well to buzzers and dry flies and nymphs at the minute. Off the last few nights when we've been out and had a look, the big one is starting to switch now. They're really coming on to, a lot of sedges are coming off. We've had a lot of mayflies starting to hatch off now. Sweethope, usually renowned for top of the water action, dry flies. Daddy's always worked well up here. Hoppers, stuff like that, Meadows. I'm fishing with a team of 3. I've got a black daddy on the point, ginger Meadows on the middle dropper and an orange bits on the top dropper. Beauty of this setup is you can casterize and fish. If they'll take it static, brilliant. If not, you can actually pull through them or fish them wet. So you can actually fish them just underneath the surface film as well. So it's a very effective way of fishing Sweethope, and I think Carl's got a very similar setup at the moment. I mean, we have rose 1 or 2 trout, but we haven't managed to hook into any yet.
Swallowed that, like that. Taking on a size 12 ginger Meadows. Get them back.
It's educating or trying to get people of a younger age who have never fished here before, who have only ever fished from the banks, to try and get them to come up and fish the boats and engage onto the boats and get them to do proper, learn how to handle a boat and set drifts and stuff like that. And I think you've been out. It doesn't get any better than this, really, does it? And on a nice day, it's beautiful. And especially if they're up on the top and they are catching, it can be, I mean, we've put 50, 60, 70 in the boat before, and that's just fishing what we're fishing now. And it's
you'll get days, you'll come here and
absolutely red letter days.
You don't know where to chuck.
Yeah.
And then you'll come 3 or 4 days later and you're like, there's any fishing,
But that's fishing, and that's Sweethope, and it's all dependent on weather and wind direction and everything else. A qualified coach in the likes of Carl and Davey coach, I mean, by all means come up and give it a go, you know what I mean? And it's something which we really like to try and promote.
Here's that rain again, just to slow everything down.
Yeah, it's not quite sure. A lot of buzzer shucks on the water and a few one or two head and tail rises in there, but there's a lot of little sippy rises as well.
And if you're not straight on top of them, they're not interested.
Yeah.
We've had one come blind, but it's targeting moving fish. That seems to be.
And the key at Sweethope as well is to hit rising fish. I've been coming out on an evening in that bay down there. We've seen fish down there. And 7, 8 o'clock, it just comes alive. There's nothing there, and all of a sudden you get one or two sedges hatching off, and that's it. And the whole place just lifts. It's full of fish.
Typical way of chatting away and eating the sandwiches.
I know, I'm just watching
three
that.
or four
I'm gonna
fish,
have a go. Stock-wise, we don't put big fish in. We've stocked fish up to £6 this year, but I think with the price of fish going up, I'll be honest, I don't think it's worth putting large fish in there. So predominantly, we're stocking about an average of about £2 at the moment, and people are over the moon with the quality of fish. Absolutely brilliant. We've fished a few different methods, but mainly dry flies. We've had quite a few fish to the boat, mainly on black daddies and tan daddies. It was pretty difficult when the rain was actually falling, but as soon as the rain stopped, the fish come onto the surface, and we had quite a few fish. Just unfortunately, we haven't had one of those days today when it's just been raining all day, which has kept a lot of the terrestrial flies off the water, really. So, but yeah, we're going back out tonight again, and hopefully the forecast's a little bit better. We've got a float tube league on tonight, and we've got a boat league on tomorrow night, which we're running over 6 consecutive weeks, so with all 3. Hopefully it's going to introduce a few more guys into float tube and try and get a few more people into fishing from the boat as well. And what we want to do is try and pair up novice anglers with experienced anglers on the boats and try and get them to teach them how to set drifts up and, you know, work a draw correctly and then actually set a drift up to learn how to fish from the front of a boat, and hopefully get them on to, especially on an evenings at the moment with the rises we are having, is to fish dry flies, and for them, people who haven't fished Sweethope before, is to really see what this place is about. Top tips for Sweethope is drift. Learn how to handle a boat and drift the boat. You've got to move about, you've got to cover the water, you've got to cover the fish. As far as tactics are concerned, dry flies obviously. Get them daddies on, get the hoppers on, Meadows and stuff like that. Absolutely fantastic. And normally through the late spring into the summer, you only need a floating line, so it's ideal for novices. You can come along and put your black taddies on and your Dawson's olives on and your damsels, and you will catch fish up here. Well, with the weather being the way it is, that's why we've sort of closed off in the house, getting the final interview done in here. But once this weather breaks and the sun does come out, let's get yourselves down and fish Sweethope.